Okay, so real estate investing is no longer just for the wealthy. Every single day, people are cashing in on the opportunity of real estate. And today it's an opportunity for ordinary people like you and me to build wealth with it. And I'm gonna give you the 10 best ways of making money from real estate. And this is after 6 years of me running multiple real estate businesses and owning over $11 million worth of real estate. And I'm living proof that with the right strategy and determination, you can turn your property investments into $1 million empire. And it doesn't matter if you're an experienced player or a rookie, this is the one video you don't wanna miss. So with that, here are the 10 best ways to start making money from real estate.
Teach me.
The first on the list is flipping. Did you know that the average profit for a flip property in the US is $62,000? And that's why flipping has become such a popular investment strategy. It's a popular way to make extra money, and it involves buying undervalued properties, renovating them, and then selling them for a profit. Now, before you purchase a property to flip, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of your target market. So are you gonna be targeting first-time home buyers, families, maybe empty nesters? If you wanna flip houses like a pro, understanding your target market is key. Now, before we dive into the steps, let's understand what house flipping entails. Now, house flipping involves 4 main steps. Number 1 is finding the right property. Number 2 is renovating the property. Then 3, listing, and then 4, selling the property. So now that we understand the process from a high level, let's dive into the steps on how to make money house flipping. Step number 1 is finding the right property. So when you're looking for a property to flip, you wanna follow the 70% rule. So this rule suggests that an investor should pay no more than 70% of the after repair value of a property, and then minus the renovation costs. So if a property's ARV is $200,000 and it needs $20,000 in repairs, then you shouldn't pay more than $120,000. And the step number 2 is renovating the property. So renovating the property is where you're gonna be spending most of your money, and the key is to make smart renovations that add value to the property. So some of the best bang for your buck is gonna come in the kitchen and the bathrooms, adding a fresh coat of paint, and also replacing outdated fixtures. Step number 3 is listing the property. So now that the renovations are complete, it's time to list the property. So you can list the property yourself, or you can hire a real estate agent to do it for you.
You guys are in a crisis. I'm on my way.
And pro tip, if you're gonna flip in volume, it might be worth your spouse, friend, etc. to get their real estate license so that you can make commissions for each sale. I know plenty of flippers that can do this, and this can be another great source of income. So when listing the property, make sure to highlight the renovations that you made and the property's unique features. Step number 4 is selling the property. So once the property is listed, it's time to sell it. You wanna price the property competitively to attract potential buyers. Now that we've gone through the steps, let's talk about how house flipping can benefit you. So when it comes to real estate investing, flipping can be an exciting way to make extra money, but can also be risky and requires a lot of hard work. So that's why it's typically better suited for people with extra capital or lines of credit to play with. However, if you do master flipping, then all the other aspects of real estate investing becomes easier. So if you're up for the challenge, here are some things to keep in mind. First, you need to get really good at finding deals, and this means keeping an eye out for properties that have the potential to sell for more than what you bought it for. Next, you need to be able to deal with contractors. This can be tough, and not all contractors are created equal. You need to find reliable contractors who will be able to work on your time schedule and also within your budget. So speaking of budget, staying within it is crucial when flipping. You need to be able to accurately estimate the cost of repairs and also renovations to avoid going over budget. And then finally, getting creative with the design can make a big difference in how quickly your property is going to sell. You want to create a space that appeals to potential buyers and also sets apart your property from the rest.
Oh, isn't this wonderful? Look at this room. What a beautiful room. Have you seen this room?
Yes, we're in it.
So let's take a look at an example. You've done your research and found a property in an up-and-coming neighborhood that has the potential for a high resale value. You secured the financing through a hard money loan and purchased the property for $150,000. Now, after spending $50,000 on renovations, you list the property for sale at $250,000. So within a month, the property sells for $260,000 and you make a profit of $60,000. Now keep in mind, this doesn't account for closing costs, title fees, etc. So that's extra income that you can use to pay off debts, invest, or save for a rainy day. So again, to recap, house flipping is an excellent way to make extra money. It involves finding the right property, renovating it, listing it, and then selling it. Real estate is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but nobody told me to start with wholesaling. Wholesaling is a great way to get started in real estate investing, even if you don't have a lot of money to invest. So it's a process that involves finding a property you can get under contract for a low price, and then you sell the contract to another investor for a profit. But remember, finding good deals can be the hardest part. And that's really where wholesaling comes in, but be prepared, wholesaling will require a lot more time and effort. Now, to be successful, you need to start building a team quickly so that it doesn't turn into another time-sucking job. So how do you find these properties? One way is to drive around different neighborhoods and look for distressed properties. This is called driving for dollars. So some things to look at are overgrown lawns, damages to the actual house itself, or just any signs that the seller might be in distress. Now, another way is to do some research online and look for properties that are listed for sale by banks or are in foreclosure or even probate. These properties are often sold at a discount and can be great opportunities. So once you find a property that you're interested in, you're going to need to make an offer to the seller. You want to try and get the property for as low of a price as possible, so that way you can make a good profit when you sell the contract to another investor. So here's an example. So let's say you find a distressed property that's worth $250,000 once it's all fixed up. Now you negotiate with the seller and you manage to get the property under contract for $150,000.
Do we have a deal?
Do we have a deal?
No. Is it going to be a deal?
Is there a deal?
Now you find another investor interested in this property and they're willing to buy your contract for $180,000. So once the transaction is complete, you're going to receive a check for the difference between the price that you paid for the property and the price that you sold the contract for. So in this case, your profit's going to be $30,000. So again, finding properties is going to be the hardest part of all this. So let's talk about a couple ways that you can start marketing. You can do cold calling, send direct mailers. You can even do door-to-door knocking. This is going to allow you to directly reach out to homeowners who might be willing to sell their properties below market value. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of wholesaling. First of all, it's a great way to get started in real estate investing, even if you don't have a lot of money to invest. Secondly, wholesaling can lead to other real estate investment opportunities. Once you start making money from wholesaling, you can use that money to go and flip houses or even buy rental properties. And lastly, wholesaling can help you achieve financial freedom if you do it right. Once you start making good money from it, you want to start investing that money into rental properties for passive income. Because remember, you build long-term wealth by holding onto the properties, not by getting rid of it. The third method is BRRRR. So BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and then repeat. Now this can be a great strategy, but most people don't know how to do it. So what this process entails is buying a distressed property, fixing it up, renting it out, and then refinancing it to pull out your initial investment and then repeat the process. So let's break this method down with an example. So back in 2019, I purchased a duplex for $135,000 through a wholesaler. So I use the 70% rule here. So it's a common rule of thumb used by investors to evaluate potential properties. So it's where an investor should pay no more than 70% of the after repair value of a property minus the repair costs. So next we did a rehab on the property worth $30,000 to make it feel like a brand new house. And then to finance this, I got a hard money lender to fund 100% of the purchase cost plus the rehab costs. So once the property was fixed up, I rented it out to tenants, and this started providing me with a steady stream of income.
So, you got my money?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'll pay you soon.
Yeah, well, here's a suggestion. Have the money by tomorrow, and there won't be any problems.
Huh?
So the next step was to refinance the property, and after the repairs, the home got appraised at $215,000. So I went to a local credit union and got a refinancing deal at 80% of the loan to value. So this means I received a new loan for $172,000. So after I paid off the original loan amount of $165,000 plus $5,000 for closing costs, I had $2,000 in tax-free money left over. So I got all my initial capital back plus $2,000, which allowed me to recycle my initial investment. Now, one critical factor here in this process is the budget. Now, going over your budget is going to kill the BRRRR strategy, so it's important to really hone in on your numbers. Time also really matters here because you need to buy it right, fix it up quick, and then you need to refinance it in a short period of time. So you can get your money back fast and then invest it again. And recycling is why BRRRR is so attractive, and it's a cycle of success if you do it right. So number 4 is commercial properties. Now you might be intimidated just by the word commercial properties, but if you play your cards right, they can be a great way to diversify your real estate portfolio and also lay a solid foundation for generational wealth. So unlike residential properties, commercial properties can provide higher rental income and also longer lease terms. Now remember guys, commercial properties often need more money to start. It's a bigger game, but the rewards can be bigger too. So first, you need to do your research and find a property that fits your investment criteria. So whether that's an office building, retail space, warehouse, apartments, etc. Next, you're going to need to analyze the property's potential income and expenses. So some things to look at are the current rental income, the potential rental income after you increase rent, even the property's expenses. So once you've done your due diligence and found the right property, you can make an offer and then negotiate the terms of the sale. Now here's the secret. If you find a good deal, banks may look at the property's finances more than your own. So there's a saying in real estate, if you find a good deal, the money will follow.
Show me the money.
Now let's talk about some of the benefits of commercial properties. Now, first of all, commercial properties can provide higher rental income than residential properties. This is because commercial tenants are usually businesses that can afford to pay higher rent. It's also a volume game because the more units you have, of course, the more money you can charge. Secondly, commercial properties often have longer lease terms than residential properties. So this means you'll have more stable source of rental income for an extended period of time. And lastly, let's compare commercial properties to residential properties. Now, of course, there are several benefits to investing in commercial property. So let's look at an example of how powerful investing in commercial properties can be. So let's say someone's looking at a commercial property that's listed for sale at $2 million. So to finance this, you secure a $1.5 million loan at a 5% interest rate over a 20-year term. And then you invest $500,000 of your own money. You spend $150,000 on renovations to increase the building's appeal. So with the improved units, the occupancy rate rises, allowing you to charge an average of $1,200 per unit. So with 20 units, that's $24,000 in monthly income or $268,000 per year. So after 3 years, the income totals $864,000. So with the increased rental income and the improvements, the property's value goes up. So now you decide to sell after 3 years and successfully close a deal at $2.8 million. So after paying off the old loan, deducting fees, you're left with a significant profit. Now, it might sound easy on paper, but keep in mind that this requires careful planning and understanding of the market conditions, tax implications, and also property management. Remember, like with any real estate, the hardest part is finding the deal and negotiating the right terms so that you can come out ahead. So number 5 is house hacking. So what house hacking is to live for free at your property. So it's where you buy a property, ideally with multiple units, you live in one of the units and then you rent out the rest. So when you house hack properly, you can reduce your housing expenses to close to $0.
Ah, sweet!
So let me actually share with you my journey because this is exactly how I got started in real estate. So I bought a 4-unit property at $380,000 and I was able to put down just 5% down because I was living in one of the units. I rented out the other 3 units to tenants and then they covered my housing expenses every single month. So I was essentially living for free. And you know what? It doesn't necessarily have to be a 4-unit property. You can house hack with a duplex, a property with a mother-in-law suite, or even an ADU. So while living for free allowed me to save almost all of my salary, which set me up for my next property's investment. But of course, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, so let's talk about the pros and cons of house hacking. So some of the pros are it generates passive income, it provides affordable housing for other tenants. Of course, you're gonna be building equity in your property. And then also number 4, there's other tax benefits involved. Now, like with any other investment, before you start house hacking, it's important to do your research. Make sure that you understand the market that you're buying in and the property's potential for rental income, and then your responsibilities as a landlord. So some of the cons, it can require hands-on management. Number 2, it's gonna limit your personal space. Number 3, it can be challenging to find the right property. And number 4, it can be risky if you don't screen your tenants properly. So here's some of the steps that I followed before I purchased this fourplex. Number 1 is determining my budget and how much I can actually afford to spend on a property. Number 2 is researching the market. I look for a multi-unit property that's located in a desirable area where rents are high. So number 3 was I ran the numbers of the property and I made sure I calculated that it had potential for cash flow after I moved out of the property. Number 4, I got pre-approved for a mortgage, talked to a lender, and found out how much I could actually borrow. Then step number 5 is I hired a real estate agent. I actually found an agent who specialized in multi-unit properties and had them find me the right property. Number 6 is screening the tenants. Make sure, especially since they're living next to you, is you do a thorough background check on potential tenants before you rent out your property to them. House hacking can be a great way to make extra money in real estate, or if you do it right, you can't even live rent-free like I did. Just make sure that you're doing your research, run the numbers, and also screen your tenants properly. Number 6 is long-term rentals. Now, long-term rentals can be a great way to get started. And the great thing is there's a lot of opportunities out there. You can create cash flow, build wealth, and it can be a great way to find time to focus on what matters to you. Now, keep in mind that the profit potential for long-term rentals isn't usually as high as some of the others on the list, but it can be a great way to build your wealth. So let's talk about an example. So let's say Sarah, she found a family who's interested in renting out her townhouse for a year, and they agree to pay her $2,000 per month. So after accounting for her mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, and other maintenance costs, Sarah's gonna be left with a profit of $500 per month. So Sarah owns 10 of these properties. She could be making a passive income of $5,000 per month. So some of the benefits of holding long-term rentals are it can create passive income, it can provide stable cash flow each month, it also builds equity in your property, and it can also provide tax benefits. So with the right strategy and management, you can build your wealth and achieve financial freedom through long-term rentals. But keep in mind, this is a long-term play. So how can you get started with long-term rentals? The first step in getting started with long-term rentals is to determine your budget. So how much can you afford to spend on a property? And this is gonna depend on your savings and also your borrowing capacity. The second step is to research the market. You want to look for an area where rental demand is high and also rental rates are stable. Some good ways to do this is to just research online, talk to local real estate agents, or you can even attend local open houses in the area. The third step is to run the numbers. You want to make sure that you calculate the potential cash flow and the profit of the property. So remember, this includes expenses such as your mortgage payment, taxes, insurance, maintenance costs, along with your vacancy rate. Also, make sure to set aside money each month for capital expenditures and also repairs. The fourth step is consider hiring a property manager to help you manage your properties and also screen your tenants properly. A property manager can take care of all the day-to-day tasks such as collecting rent, handling repairs, and dealing with tenant issues. This is going to be important as you scale because you don't want this to turn into another full-time job. The fifth step is to do a thorough background check on potential tenants before renting out your property. So this includes checking their credit score, their employment history, and also rental history. So some non-negotiables is that they need to make at least 3 times the monthly rent. So for example, if you're renting out your property for $1,000, they need to make at least $3,000 a month in gross income. We also look for a minimum credit score of 600, and the previous landlords have to give them good reviews. So with the right strategy and management, you can build wealth and achieve financial freedom through long-term rentals. Number 7 is short-term rentals. So when it comes to short-term rentals, just think Airbnb. So short-term rentals can be another great way of making money, and it's where you target people that are traveling on vacation. And if you have the right property, you can charge a premium for your property. Now let's talk about why I'm a huge believer in short-term rentals. Now first, short-term rentals can generate higher income compared to traditional long-term rentals. So this is because you can charge higher rates for short-term rentals, especially if your property is located in a popular tourist destination or event area. And secondly, short-term rentals offer a unique and personalized experience for guests. Now, unlike hotels, short-term rentals provide guests with the opportunity to live like a local, experience the community, and also just have a bigger place to stay at. You can also build relationships and network with travelers and other property owners, and this can lead to repeat business, positive reviews, and also even referrals. So now let's look at how you can start making money through short-term rentals. First, you need to identify the right rental property or investment opportunity. So look for properties in high demand areas and assess the rental potential based on factors like location, amenities, and nearby attractions. Go on a site like airdna.co to do market research on this. It's a great data aggregation site where it pulls information directly from Airbnb and VRBO. So secondly, you need to prepare your rental property for guests. So this is going to include decorating, furnishing, and also adding amenities that are attractive for people to want to stay at your property. Now third, you need to market your rental property effectively. So this means creating an attractive listing description, taking high quality professional photos, and also offering competitive rates and incentives for guests. Fourth, you need to manage your rental property efficiently as well. So this includes responding to guest inquiries and requests promptly, maintaining the cleanliness and safety of your property, and also providing clear instructions and support for your guests.
I am out here for you.
Because remember, in the short-term rental game, you're in the hospitality business as well. Now finally, you need to analyze your rental income and expenses regularly. So this means meticulously tracking your rental rates, occupancy rates, and also expenses like cleaning fees, maintenance costs, and commissions. This will help you optimize your rental strategy and also maximize your profits. So in conclusion, short-term rentals are a lucrative way to make money through real estate. And there's a lot of great ways that you can get started in short-term rentals. You can start with Airbnb arbitrage, where you sublease properties owned by other people. You can get started with co-hosting, where you manage other investors' properties, and the list goes on and on. And if you want to learn how to get started with Airbnb, you can join my next free online event. This is where I deep dive into the subject, and we're going to explore strategies like Airbnb arbitrage, a unique method where you can rent out a property and then you can sublease it on Airbnb. It's a great way to get started in this industry with minimal upfront costs. We're going to walk through how to make $2,500 a month in cash flow from one property, and we're going to learn how to optimize your listings, manage bookings effectively, and deal with common challenges and way more. It's basically a detailed step-by-step guide on how you can get started. I'll leave a link in the description. So the 8th way to start making money in real estate is through hard money lending. So this is going to apply to you if you're sitting on a considerable sum of capital and unsure of where to invest it for higher returns. So what exactly is hard money lending? So simply put, hard money loans are short-term loans secured by real estate, and they can be provided by private investors. So these loans are usually the go-to for flippers or even real estate investors who require fast financing. So this can be a high-risk, high-reward venture, but you need to keep in mind these crucial steps. So this is where your understanding of analyzing deals and also trusting the operator comes into play. Now you might be wondering, how does one actually profit from hard money lending? So the primary income is going to come from the interest rates and also the fees charged on these loans. Hard money loans have higher interest rates compared to conventional loans, often hovering around 10 to 15% or even higher. So another advantage is the fast returns on your investment thanks to the short-term nature of these hard money loans. Also, we protect our investment by securing loans with the real estate. So this way, if the borrower defaults, we have the right to seize and sell the property.
Prepare to charge!
Sir, we haven't been given that order.
Charge!
So for starters, hard money lending can yield higher returns compared to traditional lending methods or savings accounts. Hard money lending allows us to invest in the real estate market without the hassle of managing properties. So this avenue can provide a steady stream of income due to the short duration of these loans. They're typically no longer than 12 months. And it can be a fantastic way to diversify your investment portfolio. How do you actually get started with hard money lending? So first and foremost, understanding the ins and outs of hard money lending and its associated laws is vital. Next, we identify potential borrowers who need quick financing for real estate ventures. And then following that, we organize the funds for lending, which could be our own capital, a line of credit, or even investments from other interested parties. Our next step involves assessing the property that will act as collateral. So we're going to perform a thorough analysis of the local real estate market, the property's condition, and also its potential resale value. And then finally, we put together a clear loan agreement detailing the loan's terms. So this includes the interest rate, the repayment schedule, and the steps following a borrower's default. So to sum it up, hard money lending is an excellent way to see high returns on your investment in the real estate sector without managing properties or dealing with tenants. The biggest thing is to find and vet good operators. You can find these people at local REITs, going on Bigger Pockets forums, even networking with real estate agents, etc. The ninth way to start making money is through REITs. REITs are a great way to make money passively. So REITs stand for Real Estate Investment Trusts. So REITs can pay dividends and appreciate from the growing value of the underlying real estate. So REITs are companies that own and operate income generating properties. So these properties can range from residential, commercial properties like hotels, malls, and even hospitals. So how do you actually make money through REITs? So you can make money by investing in REITs and earning dividends from the rental income generated by the properties they own. So REITs typically offer higher dividend yields compared to traditional stocks and bonds, making them an attractive investment option. You can also make money by investing into a REITs rental property fund. So these funds allow you to pool your resources with other investors and then invest into a diversified portfolio of rental properties.
You smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
A cologne?
No, money.
So now let's talk about some of the benefits of REITs. So REITs can offer a convenient way to invest into real estate without the hassle of personally managing your properties. So as a REIT investor, you can rely on the expertise of the management team to acquire and also operate the income generating properties. REITs can be a great way to diversify your investment portfolio. So by investing into REITs, you can spread your investment across multiple properties, locations, and sectors, and reducing your risk of exposure. Now REITs are great because they offer liquidity and also flexibility. You can buy and sell shares just like the stock market, and you can even adjust your investment allocation based on your investment goals and also market conditions. Now of course your income potential isn't going to be as high if you invest into a REIT, but it can be a great way to diversify your portfolio. Number 10 is note investing. Note investing is a strategy to purchase discounted mortgages from people who can no longer meet the payment terms at a deep discount. You then rehab the note and then you sell it at a higher price, thus creating an immediate cash flow. It can be an excellent way to create passive income. So if you want to make money investing in notes, first you need to understand the cash flow and risk. You need to have a deep understanding of the real estate market and also local laws. And you need to make sure that you stay organized and disciplined. Now, of course, it's not glamorous, but it can pay off handsomely. So let's first understand what note investing is all about. So in simple terms, note investing is buying and selling debt. It's like investing into a mortgage, but instead of buying a property, you're buying the debt attached to it. And the best part is that you can make a profit without even owning any property. So now let's talk about how you can make money through note investing. So one of the most significant benefits of note investing is the high return on investment. The typical returns on investment are anywhere from 8 to 12%. And of course, this can be higher than traditional investments like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. Number 2 is there's way less competition. It means that there are fewer people investing in it, which makes it easier for you to find good deals. Plus, note investing is not as popular as other investments. So you can take advantage of this opportunity to make more money.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Another great thing about note investing is that it can generate passive income. Because when you invest into a note, you can receive regular payments from the borrower, which will provide you with a steady stream of income. Investing in notes is also a great way to diversify your portfolio. Because unlike other investments that are tied to the stock market, note investing is not affected by market fluctuations. So it means that you can maintain a stable return on investment even during market downturns. So now let's talk about how you can get started with note investing. The first step is to educate yourself on the topic. There are a lot of great resources available online, including books, articles, and videos. You can even attend seminars and workshops to learn more about the industry. So once you're ready to invest, you can find a note broker. So a note broker is a professional who specializes in buying and selling notes. They can help you find the best deals and also provide you with guidance throughout the process. Now, before investing, you need to evaluate the note. So that means you need to analyze the borrower's creditworthiness, the property's value, and also the note's terms. You need to make sure that you assess the risks involved and also make sure that the investment aligns with your goals. Now, if you decide to invest into a note, you need to fund the investment. You can use your own money or you can borrow money from a bank or other lenders. Now, it's essential to have a sound financial plan and make sure that you can afford the investment. Now let's talk about a real life example of how note investing can benefit you. So we have a guy named John who's interested in making money through note investing. So he talks to a note broker who helps him find a great deal. He then evaluates the note and then finds that the borrower has good credit and the property has a high value. So he decides to invest $10,000 into the note. So a few months later, John starts receiving regular payments from the borrower. He's earning a return on investment of 10% and generating passive income. He then uses the income to pay off his debt and then invest into other opportunities. So in conclusion, note investing can be a great way to make money and diversify your portfolio. It's important to do your research, find a note broker, and then evaluate the note. And of course, you need to fund the investment. So if you follow these steps, you can start earning a high return on investment and start generating passive income. Now, real estate investing can be challenging, but it can be exciting and also extremely rewarding. Whether you're just starting out or an experienced investor, there's always more to learn and also more opportunities to seize and just more ways to grow your wealth. Now, of course, knowing isn't enough, Action is a catalyst that's going to turn your knowledge into tangible results. And remember guys, you don't have to start with a lot of capital. With strategies like Airbnb arbitrage or wholesaling, there's a lot of ways you can start without a lot of initial capital. So if you want to learn all things financial freedom, consider subscribing and also check out this video that YouTube recommends.